Hey everyone, Anthony Scott here of ToyHypeUSA.com. Today I am checking out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles times Universal Monsters, Donatello as the Invisible Man Ultimate figure from NECA Toys. Special shout out and thank you to site sponsor Entertainment Earth for sending along for review. Greatly appreciate that. Click off our link below in the YouTube description and hyperlinks off of ToyHypeUSA.com for 10% off any in-stock order plus free USA shipping on orders $59 plus. The figure comes in a window box with an opening flap, and you see some beautifully done artwork there on the cover. Some additional artwork and some logos right there on the side. The other side, you have a look at his four brothers plus April O'Neil there. And on the back, you have some great artwork and some text, which you see there. He is in various poses, showing off his accessories. Here is the top of the box. And of course, the bottom of the box has the names of all the great people at NECA Toys responsible for bringing them together. Here's a look at the inside of the opening flap, showing an image of him on the left. And on the right, he comes in a plastic tray for safekeeping. Here's a look at him inside his tray, along with his accessories. Behind him are interchangeable hands and feet. Here's a look at his interchangeable hands and feet. He comes with invisible hands and feet as well, which we're going to be taking a closer look at. Here's your in-hand look as Donatello as the Invisible Man. The figure comes in a dark gray jacket with a light wash on there, black buttons. He also has a brown belt around his waist there and a brown strap around his shoulder. Elbow and knee pads are also in black. Gloves are a dark gray and metallic black. The head sculpt, as you can see, is bandaged, and there are removable goggles, and I'll show you guys that in a few moments. The feet are also bandaged around there. However, the feet are also, the front of them are invisible, the toes. So that's a neat little feature right there. As you can see, it's clear, which is very nicely done. The pants are a dark blue and a little bit of a dark gray right at the ankles there. It's also very nicely done. The pants also have a wash. Let's turn them around, show you guys the shell. The shell is also clear, allowing you to see through it as that's invisible. And inside there are 3 pizza slices, which cannot be removed. These look like pepperoni pizza slices. So there's your look there. The shell is all the details and everything. Sculpted lines that you would see from various turtle figures from over the years. And the brown strap is sculpted over it, so none of this is removable. Head sculpt, phenomenally done. As you can see, his head is completely bandaged. And as I said, the goggles are removable. So you can take them off as shown, and if you look really closely at the eyes are clear, indicating that he is completely invisible under his clothing and everything. He also has a purple, I guess that's a scarf right there with some very nice sculpted textures. That's very nicely done. As he's part of the Ultimate collection, he is also fully articulated. So if you've been collecting Ultimate figures from NECA for years now, Universal Monsters, Turtles, other brands, you basically know what to expect as far as articulation. This includes a ball-jointed head, full range of motion here, swivel hinge shoulders, double hinged elbows, which the elbow pads don't get in the way from, swivel hinge wrists, ball jointed torso, good range of motion. You would also notice that the top part and the bottom part of the coat are separate, so that doesn't prevent the movement. He also has a swivel waist, as shown. Ball jointed hips, which this skirt part does get in the way of the hip movement, so just be aware of that. He also has double hinged knees, and the skirt does get in the way of the knee articulation a little bit, so there is that. And the ankles are swivel ankles, and he's got hinged and rocker ankles. So, articulation, standard for the Ultimate line. Very nicely done. Here's a look at the accessories. Included is an extra interchangeable head, 4 extra sets of interchangeable gloved hands, a set of invisible hands, and a set of invisible feet that you see on the right there. He also includes his bow staff, a microscope, a TGRI journal, as well as a beaker. Here's a few various poses. This one is of him wearing the hat. The staff can be placed on his back, and it goes through the fabric loops, which are right on top of the brown strap. And here's a closer look at that. I did have to rethread the top one twice, as the first time I put it through, it became undone. So it's been a little bit of a project and something of a nightmare to rethread it and to put the bow staff through, but I finally got it. So there's your closer look at that. Here's a look at him holding his bow staff. In his open grip, he's got a really good grip on this bow staff, as you can see. Here's another look at him holding the bow staff. Here's a look at his additional head sculpt. This head sculpt has the eyes and the mouth open, as you can see, which are hollow on the inside. I also went ahead and switched out his hands, as you can see there. There's also hair on top of the head. As you know, turtles are bald. So the hair is really there just for display purposes. Here's a closer look. As I said, it's hollow on inside of the mouth and the eyes. Here is a closer look at that. You should be able to see that on camera. And of course, the hair is poking through. So here is a closer look at that. As I said earlier, the goggles can also be placed on his head, and there's your look there. Just be careful when looping it through the top. The hair does get a little bit in the way, so just be very careful, as you could accidentally break the goggles. Keep in mind that NECA figures are usually very fragile, so again, just be very careful when placing the goggles on, especially this particular head sculpt. Here's a look at the beaker. No serum in there, but he does have the ability to hold it in his hand, as shown. Here's a closer look at the microscope and the beaker. The microscope really can't be placed in his hand, so I went ahead and put it on the table so you guys can see it better. Microscope, very nicely done. It's small. And of course, the beaker. Here's your closer look there. Here's a closer look at the TGRI journal. It is painted in a red spiral with some gold and some light gray pages. Here's a closer look at the cover. You see the TGRI written in black right there. There's also a strap to keep it closed. The book doesn't actually open. And finally, here's a look at his last set of interchangeable hands and feet. These are clear, indicating his invisibility. These are open grip hands, so he can hold on to his bow staff and other accessories as shown. The hands and feet are transparent, so if you look closely at the hands, you can see parts of the bow staff being able to be seen through the hands there. Here's a comparison of the rest of the offerings, which includes his 3 brothers, Splinter and April O'Neil. Here's a comparison of Donatello as the Invisible Man along with his 3 brothers. As you can see, this format works extremely well for both brands. NECA's team has done a fantastic job with this line, and I, for one, hope to see more. They haven't announced anything new, but I really hope they're coming out with something. I would love to see Shredder as, well, I'll let them figure that one out. But I've been thrilled with what I'm seeing here. The only aspect about Donatello I don't like is the holster on the back of the shell where the bow staff is able to be put through. I had a bit of a problem with this top one here. It became undone as I was putting the bow staff through, and I had to take a bunch of time to retie it, put it through the loop. It was really a bit of a nightmare. So I would have preferred them do something with a piece of plastic right there as opposed to this. I think that would have been much better for that reason. But overall, Donatello is a fantastic figure. Highly recommend you guys collect this line. Check out our links off of ToyHypeUSA.com. 10% off in stock and $59 plus free USA shipping. You can also click off the links on the YouTube description. I am Anthony Scott at ToyHypeUSA.com. Thank you again to Entertainment Earth for sending along for review. Greatly appreciate that. That is where the coupon is valid. Thanks again for watching this video, and stay tuned for more coverage on reviews.